Welcome back, and in today's video we are continuing our little concrete series, but this time I brought a couple coworkers with me and they want to give you some advice. One is a young apprentice, she just started, she's a first term, and then another coworker is a seasoned veteran, he's a journeyman, and I'm going to give some advice towards the end of the video, so hope you guys enjoy. Let's go.
Okay, so what is something that you've learned as a carpenter apprentice doing a concrete job?
That the people that are really good at it or seem to be really good at it are the ones who know both how to build it strong enough so the concrete's not going to blow out when it's poured, and are thinking ahead and know precisely how strong you need to build it to be strong enough to last the pour, but not so strong that when you're going to take it down the next day, it's a pain in the ass. And that's what you got to keep in mind.
We have Miguel, and we have a couple questions for him. What is something that apprentices could know before doing concrete that would give them an advantage?
The first thing I would say that an apprentice would have to know is to be aware of the process, right? Because there's always a process, and the faster they learn the process, the faster they catch on, then they know what the next step is, right? Because when we're building concrete, it's pretty repetitive. We're using the whatever system we're using, it's always a sequence. So we do this first, then we do this other process, and then we end up putting the whalers, and then we end up putting the uprights, we end up putting the kickers. So once they catch on, then they know what's the next step that they have to make.
What is your favorite part about doing concrete?
My favorite part about doing concrete is just the speed. It's just fast paced. You know what you're doing already because it's pretty easy, pretty intense. It's a little bit of a challenge. It's frustrating at times, but it's really fast paced, and just knowing that you gotta just do the work.
Favorite part of doing concrete?
Favorite part of doing concrete, after I understood the steps specifically this time around to build the concrete walls, it felt very intuitive and automatic. And it's nice to be able to know how to help the person you're working with. So once it became a known format of the steps to do, it was very enjoyable.
As a carpenter, when you're doing concrete, even when you're doing the concrete pour, keep your bags on as long as possible. Do not take your bags off unless you are shagging out material, and that's like your job. Like if you're told to get 2x for whalers and lay them all out, plywood, that's okay to take your bags off, but you want to have your bags on at all times, because a lot of times you get called to a different area, they may say, hey, I need you over here, and if you don't have your bags on, you look foolish. This happens all the time. I know me as an apprentice, I want to take my bags off as soon as possible, but I kept getting called over here, and it's okay, hand me your tape. I don't have it on me. Let me grab my bags. And so the more that happens, the more foolish you look. Some might need a keel or your chalk line, or just you ready to work. You'll be able to cut material, and if you don't have your speed square or your pencil on you or your tape, you just look foolish. So keep your bags on at all times, and especially when you're doing pour watch, even if you are gonna be the person who's gonna be finishing the concrete, make sure your bags are on while you're pouring the concrete, because so many times there's been like minor blowouts or things going wrong, and then everybody looks around like who has their bags on, and no one does, and so everybody looks really foolish right then, and then catastrophe could happen if no one can pound steaks in because no one has their stuff on them. So make sure you have your bags on you, especially when it comes to pour watch, so that if something does happen, you can pound a steak in real quick, or pound some 2x and lock something in, so if a catastrophe is happening, you can fix it. If you are an apprentice, keep your bags loaded, because you may not understand the intricacies of what's going on. You're told to do this task, or this task. Make sure your bags are full with nails, full of fasteners, whatever you need, full of batteries, so that if a journeyman needs you, you can give him what he needs. Boom, off top. The same thing I said in my tool video, it's important that you keep your bags loaded full of material so that you are an asset to people working around you. If you're the last person to have your bags empty of nails and batteries, you look good, because that's your job. You may not have all of the knowledge right now to be super efficient, so your job is to make everybody around you efficient, at the same time watching everybody, picking up on little tricks, picking up on little terms, so the next time you do this task, you're that much better. You're not gonna go from a first term to a journeyman on your first concrete pour. It may take you years, but over time, you're gonna gain knowledge and you're gonna be able to see the tricks they do. So the more helpful you are to them, the more they're gonna wanna keep you around and help you out. So it's important, keep your bags loaded with whatever you can, especially if you're working with an older journeyman and you are stronger, make sure you carry more material. That's your job. You're supposed to make their job easier. So carry as many 2x as you can that's comfortable. Do not kill yourself. You have a lot of years in your career, probably 30 to 40 years you have to do. So if you have an older journeyman, he's only carrying 2 or 3 2x, carry like 4 or 5 and just make sure you're making his life easier. And I think that's important. If you can make your journeyman's life easier, they're gonna keep you around, they're gonna help you out because they see that you really wanna get it and you have grit. Always go that extra mile, especially when it comes to the concrete forms. If anything catches your eye and you wonder, should I put another 2x right there? Should I do something else to shore that up? Always go that extra mile, because if something was to blow out and you thought, man, I could have fixed that, that's gonna weigh on your mind. So always make sure you go the extra mile. If you see the grade and it looks like it might give out, make sure you dig down lower, you have another panel on there, you have more 2x, locking everything in. I've had so many jobs where guys are trying to rush. At the very last minute, we're still pounding nails while concrete's there, and then we have a blowout. These things happen if you're not prepared and if you're not going the extra mile to fix little small things. I've seen times where we've had concrete elevator cores, there's one piece at the bottom that was missing and concrete cascades at the bottom. So it's always about checking the small details, making sure everything's locked in, making sure everything's done to the proper standard of a union carpenter, because you don't want to waste money, you don't want to waste material, you don't want to waste anybody's time. So make sure that you're doing it properly. That's important. Thank you guys for watching. I appreciate you guys. If you guys have any critiques or any comments or any ideas for videos you want to see in the future, leave it in the comment section. Give me a like to help boost the algorithm. And again, I appreciate you guys. I've been so grateful that the response I've been getting, this is exactly what I want to do with this channel, help other people see what I've seen and join the trades, because it's been amazing to change my life. So again, I appreciate you guys and thank you for watching.